Here.
Here.
Will you all please stand and join me in our pledge of allegiance and the invocation? I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Would you pray with me? Gracious God, as we come to you this day to begin another session of the Carl Junction Board of Aldermen, we ask that you impart upon us your wisdom and guidance so that we may promote justice, assist those in need, and provide for the overall well-being of the citizens of Carl Junction. In your most holy name we pray. Amen.
Thank you, Rick. Next is approval of the agenda. Are there any comments or corrections to the agenda as presented?
Make a motion, we approve the agenda as typed.
Second.
Motion by Roger Spencer, second by Rick Flynn to approve the agenda as presented. All those in favor, please signify by raising your right hand. 8 in the affirmative, the agenda is approved. Next is the consent agenda, which is approval of the minutes of the previous meeting and approval of the disbursements. Are there any comments, changes, or questions about the consent agenda?
I move we approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Motion by Don Allen, second by David Powell to approve the consent agenda as presented. All those in favor, please signify by raising your right hand. 8 in the affirmative, the consent agenda is approved. Next is public forum. Anyone wishing to speak at public forum? Okay, let me get my sheet out. All persons wishing to speak to the mayor and board of aldermen during the public comment portion of the meeting should come forward one at a time and stand at the podium and state your name and address and the subject matter you wish to comment upon. All comments should be directed to the mayor in a civil manner. Comments are limited to 5 minutes unless the mayor or board of aldermen grants additional time. It is the mayor's responsibility to make certain these rules are followed and made order and decorum. If you have a question, the mayor and board of aldermen may, of course, provide an immediate response. However, the mayor and board of aldermen may also provide no response or response at a later time as they deem appropriate.
Hi, my name's Cheryl Lauber, 616 Locust Street. Just want to give you guys an update on the citizens for the CJPD. Our committee has been working hard at trying to get information out to our community. We want it for our citizens to be able to have an informed decision and not just a decision based on facts. So we have created flyers that are available throughout town. They are available at several of the restaurants here in the city. And we also have different times that we have available. A community member will be available to answer questions. And if we don't know the exact answer, we will get their name and phone number and get back with them whenever we find out the correct information so we make sure we're sharing properly. Anyway, if they want to join or look at our Facebook page, it's Citizens for the CJPD. There's a lot of information on there that they can go on there, look at. There's videos on there, there's flyers on there, and information as to where we're going to be. This week, we will be here at the community center Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, around the 11 to noon 30-ish time. Somebody will be here. And then tomorrow night we'll be at the Bulldog Drive-In from 5:30 to 7:30. If anybody wants to come in and sit down and ask a few questions, we'll be there. I believe it's Monday, we'll be at Metrios, and Tuesday at the Barbaric Country Club. Those same times, 5:30 to 7:30. If somebody wants to come in, and we'll also post times during the day for next week whenever we get those available. So, yeah, thank you. Just wanted to give you an update.
Any questions?
Are we still doing coffee and donuts?
Yeah, I was gonna bring that up.
And I have flyers and cards if anybody doesn't have them and would like them.
Thank you. Anyone else like to speak at public forum? Last call. Very well, then we'll move on. Next is a P&Z case 2402, site plan review of northeast corner of Elliott and Walnut Bittner properties. Steve?
P&Z heard this case a while back, actually, and they are recommending approval. One thing that they had talked about it in P&Z was a stormwater buyout. Instead of putting a detention pond, they couldn't get the flows correct because that's basically the very top of the hill of what this part of Carl Junction is. So trying to get it into the detention pond and then back out of the detention pond so it could keep flowing was an issue that they could not resolve, the engineers. So instead, they would do a stormwater buyout. And what happens is the developer pays us, and that money goes into our stormwater fund. It's so much per acre, and I forgot to write down the number of how much total it will be.
Is that gonna affect the other properties around there?
It does not, because of the, there is some slight elevations, and it runs from those duplexes on the north side. It runs south towards the school into that ditch, and then from that ditch, it runs west, and then it goes north again all the way to that detention pond up on the corner of Ivy. It's kind of weird, but
I'm just a little worried about that because we had all the ladies come in from Tearaway that said they get water over there
Right.
anyway.
their water was actually, because Harry S. Truman Community Development Corporation did some stormwater work there. Theirs is coming off of that hill behind them and to the east of them is where most of that water comes in from. This is on the downstream side of them, so it won't back up into them.
And then should this have a light on it? Should I be able to see that yet on this diagram?
No, you won't be able to see that yet until they get the underground and get that service in that goes from, there's a main right there on the corner of Elliott, on that northwest corner. And when they get theirs put in, then we'll be able to put a light in there.
Any other questions? Comments?
So on the buyout, so if there were a stormwater problem over there, then the city would be responsible for that.
Yeah, we would use that money to take care of any problems.
So it's just on us if there's a problem that's for $200,000 and they gave us $15,000.
Yeah, that might be a little extreme, but yes.
Anything else? You all want to approve the site plan?
It'll still have the ditch there with like the,
At the highway?
Yeah.
Yes,
and it'll go to that drainage thing or whatever.
yes. So what will run off of the buildings and onto that little bit of street there, it will run off the buildings towards that and then to Elliott. And just on the other side of Elliott, there is actually an inlet.
Will the water go on Elliott though, or?
In the curb and,
Yeah,
together.
and it goes up on the LED.
Holly, what were you asking about a light on there?
Street light.
When the ladies were here that live on Tearaway right behind there, they asked if we could do a street light there because it's really dark. And Steve said that we wouldn't be able to do that until we had some sort of project going on there. So I just want to make sure we got that on our radar.
You've got, right now, it's just primary voltage on the pole right there, and so they'll have to bring it down into a transformer, and then we can get and they don't have that yet, so when we'll be able to put one in on that.
If any water does come down and get into the present home apartments there, duplexes.
No, it won't. They're on the wrong side of the flow lines.
Okay. But it's the city's responsibility if it does.
Partially.
One more thing on this. There was a separate plan for this property that the council denied. And so I guess the difference is that was a multi-family townhouse style, and this is,
Yep.
but as far as probably the reasons that the council denied that was stormwater and things like that. I don't know, maybe just they didn't like that many people there. I don't know, but I don't know that
It's,
this is a completely different stormwater plan than before.
yeah, because the fourplex is a lot more intrusive, I guess you could say, both on on the number of people that you have coming into it, and the size of the buildings.
You didn't deny a site plan, you just denied the zone.
Yeah, we just denied
Yeah,
the
rezone.
zoning.
Right. This does not need rezoned, it's already zoned R2.
It's the recommendation of the planning and zoning committee that it be approved.
Yes, planning and zoning, and I think your package should have an email from Kurt Higgins, that engineers recommending it also.
I make a motion, we approve the site plan as presented.
I'll second it.
Motion by David Pyle, second by Bill McGuire to approve the site plans presented. All those in favor, please signify by raising your right hand. 8 in the affirmative, the site plan is approved. Thank you. Next, I need to have you guys, if you would please, ratify an emergency declaration I did for well number 5. Want to explain this, Steve?
Well number 5 went down again. And it was, the pump went out, the pump was 10 years old. It went out, and then also the soft start, which is what starts the pump, went out too, so we had to replace both of those.
And what are we paying for that?
Out of water.
Oh, I mean, how much was it? Just
Oh, I have not got the
haven't got the bill yet, yeah.
I could
But
take
we got to do
I
it.
can take a guess.
We got to do it because, people want water in their
Kind of
house.
want water.
So if you all would, I would,
Make a motion, we approve it.
Second.
motion by Roger Spencer, David Pyle to approve my emergency declaration for well number 5. All those in favor, please signify by raising your right hand. 8 in the affirmative, thank you very much. Next is the second emergency declaration for the well lift station, Well Street Lift Station repair.
Yeah, this is the lift station that's just across the street from the Methodist Church. They're on Well Street. One pump had broken loose from the slide rails that are on was leaning over in there, and another one was coming off of the brackets. That's been makes it easier to swallow. Have you guys ever been into that lift station?
17 years.
17 years ago.
The
So
best we can figure is that it's been 17 years since anybody's pulled one of those pumps.
Wow.
that's excellent.
We probably got our money's worth then.
Yeah.
Anything over 7 years with the pump is borrowed time.
Make a motion, that we approve the mayor's emergency declaration for the Wells Street lift station repair.
Second.
Motion by David Pyle, second by Lynn Allen to approve my emergency declaration for the Wells Street Lift Station repair. All those in favor, please signify by raising your right hand. 8 in the affirmative. Thank you again for approving that. Next is discussion on the bid for Mid Central Contractors LLC for council chamber window tint.
This is the continuation that you guys asked for because of how expensive the tower shades were. $1,350 to do these 4 windows right up here. And the meeting just missed the glare tonight, but it's coming around again. So this is what they could do. This tint it's not a blackout tint, so it won't totally black it out. There'll still be some sun get in it. It's probably more along the lines of what you see the front windows on vehicles, something like that. On some vehicles.
They think it'll take care of the glare.
I certainly hope so. It should. You're going to cut down a lot. I mean, these are already really good windows. They're gas filled and with the opaque on there, so this really ought to do it.
It was pretty bright. I was in here about 5:15. It was really bright then.
And for me, this is a more reasonable
Yeah.
price to spend on it.
And I might let somebody else weigh in on it because I almost feel like I have a conflict of interest since I'm the one that did directly.
No, it's me too.
You do. I was gonna say so.
Yeah, really, from Mike on over
How much was it again?
$1,350. $1,350.
You could have done it yourself if you wanted to. But it's nice you
Yeah,
went to
but
the council for it.
we'd already started this
Yeah.
project, and so you guys' approval on it.
I trust him on the ladder though.
Well, we're not gonna have him do it, that's for sure.
I like this amount better than
Yeah.
I don't know if it'll be as effective, but for the price.
Make a motion that we approve the quote for the council chamber window tent.
Second.
Motion by David Pyle, second by Rick Glenn, that we approve the
Window tent.
window tent for the chambers, the chamber windows up here. All those in favor, please signify by raising your right hand. All those opposed, same sign. 7 affirmative, 1 against. The motion passes. Go ahead and do that. Next is approval of bids for the community center outdoor basketball court resurfacing.
I think you missed one.
Missed one.
What I miss?
Number 10.
Oh, Schubert Mitchell? Yeah, sorry. Okay, let's go to the request from Schubert Mitchell to amend the Rainier Farms Plan Unit Development.
We have a representative from OWN and also a representative from Schubert Mitchell. This is after we had passed that ordinance amending the PUD code. This was their formal request to amend that plan. So if you have any questions for them, they're here to answer.
So, my name is Oscar Sarceno. If you guys have any questions, I'm here to answer.
Great, thank you.
Yeah.
Questions?
Do you just want to give us a quick rundown of what the change is?
Absolutely. So there's a total of 2 changes. The very first one, originally we had 16 lots that were going to be multi-family duplex, and now we're wanting to go with the interest rates the way they are. We've been having, just duplexes are a tougher home to sell. So we're wanting to make that into R1, a single family housing. So for those 16 homes. So that's density. And then for number 2, we have we have a baseline between phases 2 and 3. Originally, I wish I had a map up there, but originally the phase, we want the baseline to be moved slightly so that we can connect to Ruby Jack Trail. I wish we had thought about this ahead of time, but it's simply just moving that baseline over. It'll be a great amenity for not only future homeowners, but also for the community. And yeah, at one time I used to be a runner, so it would be a great time. So, yeah.
Any questions?
I think the changes actually sound good.
Yes.
I would prefer them if I was living over there.
So, you guys want to approve these changes?
So we just need a motion to approve the changes to the plan development, correct?
Yes.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by LaDonna Allison, Mahoy Levine to approve the amended Rainier Farms Plan Unit Development. All those in favor, please signify by raising your right hand. In the affirmative, if unabsent, go for it. Thank you. Next is the approval of community center outdoor basketball court resurfacing.
I would actually like you to table this one, if you would, please. We've had 2 contractors that have looked at it that are concerned about the seal that is on top of that concrete now. And they don't want to put a product down on top of that sealer because they don't want to start peeling off in 6 months or the next rain event or whatever. They want to make sure that a product that they put on there will bond correctly. So they are, both of them are actually researching different products and different ways of cleaning up that concrete so that what we do put on it will actually bond and stay. They don't want to put a halfway job on top of it, just go in there and paint it, make it a little bit more anti-skid, but so they want something to last. So I would like you to table this until I can get more information on it.
I move we table this until the city administrator puts it back on the agenda.
Second.
Motion by Don Allen, so we're dispensing to table this bid for the community center outdoor basketball court until we get further information from the city administrator. All those in favor, please signify by raising your right hand. 8 in the affirmative, and absent, it is tabled. Next is an ordinance approving a contract with Mid Central Contractors LLC for technology upgrades. Did I want to put it on first reading?
Oh, sorry. I move we put this ordinance on first reading by title only.
Second.
Motion by Don Allen, second by David Pyle, to put this ordinance on first reading by title only. Will the clerk please read the title?
An ordinance approving the service agreement between the city of Carlton, Missouri and Mid Central Contractors LLC to be a preferred service provider for the implementation of new projects, upgrades, and maintenance to meet the needs of the city of Carlton, Missouri, including but not limited to the police department, community center, city parks, and public works, for the sum set forth in the agreement, and authorizing the mayor to execute said service agreement for and on behalf of the city of Carl Junction, Missouri.
Discussion?
After considerable back and forth between Mike Talley and myself, I finally understand what he was talking about. But I think we have a workable agreement. Notes in there that you need to do is that they can't do any project work until they get approval by the board. So if they bring a project to us, it's still got to be approved by you. They will. That does not mean that we're bypassing bids or anything like that, because they'll bring us the project. If you guys want to do the project at that time, we'll find out. And then we'll move forward with an individual project because, I don't have any idea what these upgrades are going to cost.
Important addition. What you are approving also is the risk assessment charges that they will incur or have in connection with developing the estimates of these projects. You are approving the rates of pay that are attached to this agreement for them to do risk assessments on these various projects that are mentioned. There are about 4 of them mentioned. There may be more.
This would be very similar to what we did for the pool by hiring a consultant. We paid the consultant and then he brought us all these options.
But you do not approve the project itself until they come back with actual numbers. So,
Yep.
I'm making sense.
Yeah, it doesn't cost anything. You never ask them to do anything.
Well,
Except for the initial risk assessment.
that's
Right.
Except for the risk assessment.
Well, the original risk assessment.
Risk assessment and report.
Yeah.
is that what the 19,800?
That's a different.
Oh, that's different. Sorry. Didn't scroll down. Scroll down, didn't scroll back up. So the amounts,
There is a schedule of charges as an exhibit to the contract
Assuming per hour, but we have no idea.
per hour.
It's
Right,
not gonna be
so-
one or
That's all.
2,000.
That's all. That's correct.
What's the SME?
What is the what?
SME, the first one on the fee schedule, it's $200.
I'm not sure.
Probably senior mechanical engineers.
So we don't have any idea how many hours this risk assessment will take. So if like an engineer might do it, and if it takes 100 hours.
They've got actually the majority of it done because that was part of that RFQ that we put out. They had to do a site assessment to begin with before they even put that in. So they've already collected a lot of data, so it's not going to be, I don't want to say terribly expensive, but
Well, they're going to give us a quote for the site assessment.
yeah.
But we're not gonna know in advance. I mean, we will the individual jobs, right, to bid on.
Right.
But we have no way of knowing right now what they're gonna cost us, or what's it's gonna cost us for the assessment.
We can put a cap on it, can't we?
We could, it's not in there.
But I mean, before we have them do anything,
But this.
Yeah, I could ask them.
we'll ask them what they estimate the costs are gonna be.
Cap would be, I
and we
could
can put a
have
cap
them
on it.
do, actually, I could have them do an estimate for the 4 projects for producing the risk assessment and report.
Maybe a not to exceed.
Yeah, because.
Yeah, which is probably what they will come back with, because that would be a not to exceed.
I mean, personally, I don't want to approve anything without knowing, like what we're going to cap it off at, or an estimate or something.
I think part of what they're trying to accomplish is avoiding investing their time and effort and funds in doing an assessment, developing specs for a project, and then having it go out to bid, and they don't get the project in the end. So they want to, I think, ensure that if they do an assessment and have specs, that they at least get paid for that time and effort.
Right.
And if they get the project on the back end, great. If they don't,
And you guys work with them, right?
yes,
The school district does, and you don't have a problem with them?
no, it was the same model.
So when they do,
So you gave them, like, just approved blank amount.
No,
No, not an amount.
That's why I'm saying, though, if we do this and do this risk assessment, we're basically approving a blank amount for the risk assessment, right?
Within reason, yes.
Not if you put not to exceed.
Right, but right now we don't have that in here. That's,
so my question is, whatever the risk assessment is, we're gonna have to pay that up to a point if we change it. But then they're gonna bring us a bid, and if we don't like that bid, then we can put it out, or we can approve that one without putting it out for bid.
No, we'll still have to advertise stuff.
Oh, okay, so
We
we still
can't
do-
get past that.
So we have the option to do, or we don't have the option, we will bid every project regardless.
You will have an option to either go forward with the project or not do the project at all. I mean, that's, I guess, choice.
But we're entering into an agreement with them
To produce those risk assessments, yes.
to be our like
We have
preferred
to-
provider.
Yeah, we will have to pay them for those risk assessment reports. And if you want, I can do it 2 ways. One big one and put a not to exceed on one big one that includes all 4 of those. Or we could do 4 individual ones. It's up to you. It doesn't matter to me how.
I think the hesitation is not on the projects, it's on that we might be on the hook for a great amount that we're not expecting for the risk assessment. Because we just have no idea. We're just gonna say, okay, let's approve this, but is it gonna be $5,000? Is it gonna be $50,000?
yeah, that's my hesitation, I know. And we've even talked about methods of funding the technology project, so that's, but to me, it's like we are in a very open-ended, like I said, we don't have anything that says not to exceed. So if we do this, like you say, I mean, I'm not saying they're not reliable and trustworthy, but we may think something's gonna take 10 hours and like say it takes 100 because we don't have that knowledge. I just think we need to put some kind of not to exceed in there. Personally.
This was first reading, right? It would be to table it here until I can bring something back. Would that be right?
That's one approach. I'm just, if you're gonna put caps on each risk assessment or a cap on all the risk assessments, however you think is best to do, you're rewriting the contract. Yeah, we can do it. We can do it by tabling it. We'll amend the, I don't know if we'll have to amend the ordinance. Yeah, we'll have to amend the ordinance because
Yes, because
the caps are gonna have to, I will put those in the ordinance as well. So that'll be right out front. So we can amend the ordinance after first reading. It's not gonna be, it's not gonna change much other than to add those caps.
and I imagine just another paragraph in here that lists each one of them with a not to exceed amount for each one of them. That'd be a separate paragraph.
In the contract
Yes,
itself.
in the agreement itself.
Yeah, that would do it.
Okay.
And like I said, I'm just one vote. Everybody else may be good with it. I just don't like entering into something we don't know what it's gonna cost.
I mean, it would be nice just to have a ballpark of the range we're looking at here.
Well, that would not only protect us, but it protects them too.
Yeah,
So I'll make a motion, we table it until we have that information.
Second.
motion by Rick Flynn, second by Rod Spencer, we table the ordinance approving a contract with Mid-Central Contractors for technology upgrades until we have more cost information. All those in favor, please signify by raising your right hand. 8 in the affirmative, it is tabled until we have more information. Very good, next is the long-term projects report. Any comments from the city administrator on this long-term projects report? I know she have question marks on the Center Creek Park playground.
Yeah, we need to get together and decide what you want in there. Need the committee to get together. We had 2 bids for it, and the third company actually just gave us their sale catalog and said, pick from here. And he had told me that about basically $140,000 project, you're gonna have $100,000 of it would be materials, the equipment itself, and then the other 40,000 would be. Says it varies a little bit depending on what they're putting in, but that would be. But we need to get together and get that decided.
Any other comments?
I mean, I know there was a couple that, on the dog park, I know we approved a bid on the fence. When are they?
They're supposed to be in this month.
The fence is supposed to be in this month, is that what you said?
Yeah, the dog park fencing.
Okay.
The contractor should be in this month.
Where are we at on the foot off? Did we get a redesign on that, or? Because it's really gonna be really nice, perfect weather to be doing that here.
So I wasn't at the last meeting. It was in the packet for the last meeting, and so.
Yeah, the problem I didn't like about it was they had a bunch of them on the soccer fields. You don't want to have holes on the soccer fields, do you?
They didn't take it.
I don't think the holes are on the soccer field. I think that it goes around the soccer fields. We might just have to look at that.
So the issue was, on the side where the soccer fields go all the way up to that yards and the houses almost, they had to like squeeze kind of in there. And then on the one that's like running right along the driving range, you know, I'm kind of worried somebody might get clocked in the head with the ball.
Yeah, no, people play out there, that's probably true.
So, and then, I'm not good with road names and stuff, but the part where, you know, the trail ends and you have to actually walk on the road to get into the back nine or whatever it is. Probably need some
Sunnybrook.
signage or
Yeah,
something.
Sunnybrook.
It cuts off the thing,
Yeah,
cuts off the 2, Sunnybrook, yeah.
so I definitely don't want to delay this, because I know we've been sitting on this for a while, and I'm very anxious to get this in. Yeah, I don't want to put it in and mess up the soccer games.
True.
Well, it sounds like we're gonna have a few things then too. The bids on the Memorial Park, I know last time we got the $31,000 engineer estimate, but we were gonna do bids.
The engineer estimate was $31,200. It has not gone out to bid yet. This is just the estimate only. he's ready to pull the trigger on it and put it out to bid. The other estimate was,
For
the stormwater, back here behind us.
Yeah.
That's down at the bottom of it, 32,500. And he could actually break it into two different projects. First project, and the first thing we need to do is the silt removal and get the new whistles in and everything on the north side of it so that it flows correctly. Second part of it is the easiest part, which is the vegetation removal on this south half of it. He said break it into 27,000 and 5,500. If you guys want to do it.
Could that vegetation removal be shifted to Public Works?
It could be worked on slowly by Public Works. They don't have, we'd still have to pay somebody to cut the trees out of it. There's several large trees that would have to be cut out.
So when are they gonna bring those to the council? On
We're
the
not gonna
bids?
bring what?
Bids?
They brought him last time, we tabled it, he went out and got a new bid, and this is the new bid, which is lower.
Yeah, you rejected
So
it
that's,
last time.
so that's all that same,
Yes. Yep. Yeah, they were 41,000 and 6,000 for the vegetation work. I think that's what it was, 47,000 total.
This comes out of stormwater.
Yes, sir. The other bid was for, that we went out on was for the Four Oaks basketball court. I only got one bid in, and it was 10,800. And then plus we buy the goal, the pole, the backboard, and the goal itself, which is about $1,800.
that's like twice what we had talked about when we were throwing out rep
It is,
numbers.
because this is having somebody else do it instead of having our guys do it. That's why.
Can we have our guys do it so we don't pay twice as much for everything, or is this?
The problem is, well, let's have them do this over here. Let's have them do this thing here. Let's have them do the trails over here. Let's have them do that. And we can have it all scheduled, and we can probably get it done in 4 or 5 years.
But right now, we haven't got anything on them right now, because every time we suggest that, that's what.
So you're not doing anything now?
No, what I'm saying is, they're not doing any of the projects right now, because every time we bid something that they're going to do, then we change it. So I know they've got all their everyday work, but
It's been a handful keeping things running lately, is what it is.
is that concrete or asphalt?
Concrete.
Can we do it asphalt cheaper?
It's gonna be, no.
No.
I
Can't do-
got a
can't-
bid like 2 months ago for asphalt, and I know it was a lot cheaper for the amount of asphalt. That's why I'm asking.
You don't want
You don't want
asphalt for a
asphalt.
basketball court.
You'd play blacktop ball. Kids in cities play blacktop ball all the time. I mean,
You don't
we
want
had a
concrete
blacktop
because
court.
then the surface is too slick.
Yeah. I was gonna say, we played blacktop ball forever. You can do it.
Concrete and asphalt are about comparable in price right now.
They are.
I mean, is this really how much it costs? $11,000 for a rectangle of concrete and almost $2,000 for a basketball goal? I mean, that's crazy to me.
It costs $1,300 for 4 pieces of tent. These are high.
Hey, go to dinner at Popeyes or on Web City and pay $25.
Well, it's almost like every time we get an estimate on what something's gonna cost, we need to automatically double that estimate. Because that's kind of how we're running right now.
I believe it's called inflation.
Well, then we need to double our
For everything
estimates.
that's going up.
that do not exceed.
This is gonna be a project we bid, so that, my point is, we are the ones estimating it and coming up half. So maybe we need to just automatically double everything we think it's gonna cost. On the stormwater, is that the part of the reason why I was so antsy about spending that much is if we were getting stormwater easements to do all this stuff on private property. Is this city property that this is going to be done on or involved, or?
Not all of it would have to get the construction easements.
The 5,500 city property,
Yes. And part of the 2,700.
part of the 27,000.
Not all of it, part of it. You tell me what you want to do.
Well, I think we're gonna have a facilities meeting to discuss some of this stuff on this other deal, like the 3 or 4 years now, we've wanted that half court thing at Four Oaks, but like I said, it's double what?
Yep, should have done it 4 years ago.
Yeah. we
Could have done it
should've.
for 5,000.
Yeah, no, the 5,000's recent.
No, we could have done it for 5,000.
Yeah, but I mean, the bid that I'm talking about, the estimate is recent, it wasn't 4 years ago. We should have done it 4 years ago, and certain one we didn't. So,
Do you just need a motion to do it, or what do you need?
Which one?
Last
Yes.
So I'm
Or well, that way,
Well,
Donna said she wanted to go to
Oh, I'm sorry.
committee on it.
well, I don't care, we got a bunch of stuff to discuss in facilities, if you want to make a motion to do it now, we can. I was just thinking if nobody wanted to say anything.
How do you feel about it, Mike?
I think that you probably know how I would vote. Not a bad idea to go to committee. And like I said, there are at least 4 things here
Okay,
that we can discuss.
I don't disagree with that at all.
We'll have one really soon here before the next meeting.
Okay. So we don't have to do anything. Just schedule a meeting.
Now that's to talk about, I have on there, the playground equipment at Center Creek Park, the basketball court at Four Oaks, the foot golf, Country Club Park, we've been talking about for a long time. I'm not putting on there the stormwater. I think that's maybe a separate issue that needs to be kind of addressed. But as far as the other projects,
And the lighting it.
we'll take those.
Lighting into the
I'll
memorial.
put that on the facility, develop facilities as well.
Are we expecting any more bids for the half basketball?
How soon could they get it done? I mean, as far as any idea?
I'd have to check with him.
It's almost
What's the best bid we got now on the stormwater?
32.5. It's a lot of money for.
One house.
I just think something ought to be done because we started this on Stevens 10 months ago,
Yeah.
11 months ago. And Lord knows if something happens, we do get a flood and it goes back again, we get a big suit.
We could now.
Good now, right now. Any possibility of just blocking up those whistles?
No, you gotta have those whistles.
Gotta have,
You block those up, then it'd be worse.
Them whistles that's in there now, they're only a foot, right? In diameter,
Something like that. I think they're 10-inch if I remember right.
is it 10 inch? And they're gonna go to what?
24-inch.
But helping you just do the tree removal.
That's what it was wondering.
Anybody got a bulldozer, they can take care of that tree in a heartbeat.
You gotta leave the stumps.
You don't gotta leave it stump.
That's what protects the bank from erosion.
Get them loggers in there, them.
Well, we can just go on, or you can decide to do something on the stormwater. I think we've decided that we're gonna go to Public Works for all the other stuff,
Public facility.
public facilities, yeah, sorry. We can
If you
just
just
leave it
wanna
on there
do-
for next meeting.
If you just wanna do the north half of it, you know, it's only 27,000 instead
Oh
of
my.
32.5. You know, and then when they get the long arm mower out, they can get part of this with the long arm mower and won't be able to get all of it, but they can work around it definitely.
Is this anything that we caused?
No. This is nature with the silting in of the ditch. And the only thing would be when they built the tower, they put too small a culverts in. Whoever that telecommunications company was, or whoever that tower builder was.
If this isn't done, then there's a chance it floods back here. Is that the problem? It's flooding in somebody's yard, right?
Personally, I have no expertise on stormwater, and so I think this is where we defer to your opinion on this, Steve. Does this need to be done? You've looked into this a lot more than.
It does need to be done. The problem I get into is that allocation of scarce resources. We have a lot of stormwater projects that we could do, and we have very little money to do them with. And trying to prioritize them has always been the issue. We know that the Main Street alley is a problem, and it has been for years also. It's a huge project though in comparison. It seems to be never ending, you know, and when it starts getting wet here in the next month or so, we'll get more and more phone calls, you know. Of course, we're not responsible for people's yards, you know, when they call in and say, I got ponding in my yard, we're not responsible for that, but we do need to make sure that the water moves out in the ditches and through the culverts and stuff. The guys have actually replaced several culverts this winter and done some ditch work. But there's always more.
So if we
And like Bill said, I'm like him, I have a hard time spending that amount of money on one house. But if we look at, since we know about it and we've worked on it and tried to get this plan, if it does flood, do we really have any liability when it comes to that? I don't know.
Since
You
we
know,
don't-
yeah, we could get sued. You
But
can
if
sue
we-
over anything. But
If we didn't cause it, and it's not on city property or anything we did on city property, I feel bad for him. Like I say, the thing I feel worse about is that he waited so long for any response. Because sometimes you have to tell people no, even when you really hate that you have to tell
Right.
them no. But my thing is, what kind of precedents are we setting if we're spending $32,000 to mitigate possible flooding that's not caused by anything we're doing? So then what happens the next time when we have somebody on the edge of town and something that's happening outside the city is causing it? Then they're like, well, you just spent $32,000 to keep this guy's.
if you, it is our responsibility to maintain some things And if you remember right, we just paid out 2 rather large settlements. We weren't the cause of those, but we're the ones that get handed the bill.
That was on,
Sewer backup.
Right.
Yep, sewer backup.
right, but that's our sewer system in our city
And
that
that's,
we're responsible for.
That they didn't know about flood prevention.
But,
we didn't.
I mean, apples and
My point
oranges.
was that we didn't cause that rain. That rain is what causes the
Right.
backup.
but it's still in our system. This has nothing to do with.
This is our ditch back here,
Mhm.
and we're responsible for maintaining that ditch.
So our ditch is causing the problems. That's what I'm asking. Is it our ditch that's causing the problems, or is it something that's happened on private property?
No, I can't answer that. Like I said, that silt infiltration is nothing that we caused, but it is our ditch.
So this is a stupid question, but every year or two, it seems like the public works guys come out and they clean out the ditches. Is that not something that would help it, that we could just do that? Like they do on Leisure and all the other places?
Yes, they do that. And they replace culverts and stuff all the time too.
But this one hadn't been attention to it
10 years,
in 10 years.
13 years now.
Bob's good with a chainsaw.
Well, we're gonna be here a long time if nobody decides to do anything.
Y'all will burn in daylight.
Well, nobody wants to have to spend money, but we need to get it fixed. Because it is a problem, and you think that's probably one of the most important problems that we have the money to fix at this time, I'm sure.
Is it?
It is. I mean, it's up there as far as a priority goes.
Didn't we say last week though that Main Street is more of a priority than?
Main Street is a higher priority because of those businesses
And a higher price tag.
and a higher price, a lot higher price tag.
Are there other projects comparable in scope and cost that would be
To this one here,
higher priority?
oh boy. I'm not sure right off the top of my head.
In that case, I'd make a motion that we approve and take care of it.
Second.
Motion by David Powell, second by Bob McAfee, that we take care of the ditch, spending the $32,500.
Not to exceed.
Not to exceed. All those in favor, please signify using your right hand. 5 in the affirmative, opposed, same sign. 2 against.
3.
3. Oh, I see. 3. 5 to 3. It does pass to go do it. We're done with the long-term projects report now?
I think so. Unless you guys see something else.
Okay, let's move along to department reports. PD. There's PD report here. Mark, want to say anything?
We rely on public works to fix that out.
You got 2 possible new
Yeah, we
officers?
had a couple of interviews today. Both of them are pretty promising. One is post-certified currently. The other one is Kansas certified. He's to check into getting it transferred over to post. I anticipate making at least 1 request for an officer within the next week or 2, hopefully 2.
Excellent. Glad to hear that. Anything else for the chief?
Did you get our sirens all fixed up?
As far as we know.
Anything else? Move on, go to Public Works. Anything for Harvey? Just 45 shut-offs and turn-ons.
Elena did really good at getting that number down.
Jay we do have a supply chain issue down there, and that's with the brass meter stops that goes on the water line before the meter does. Jay made a trip down to Tulsa. He found some down there. Our two normal suppliers are telling us months,
22 weeks
22 weeks.
at minimum.
Brass, if you recycle brass right now, it's probably at an all-time high of $2.20 a pound, which is phenomenal. But we've got 30 probably stops in stock.
Yeah, real close. And then we've got a couple different styles that just came in today. We haven't really had a chance to look at them, but they're a Ford stop that may or may not work.
So basically, we might have to pause on issuing new home construction permits because of that, each one. So I'll keep you up to date on that one.
Wow.
We're looking everywhere, doing what we can.
Anything else for Public Works? If not, we'll go to committee reports. Budget and Finance.
Well, we handed the budget last time, and I was thinking we could have it approved by the first, but double checked, and I remember now that Mr. Talley caught it a couple years ago. You have to do it on the first meeting. So you'll notice it's not on the agenda, but we did distribute the proposed budget last week. So if anybody has looked at it, I think some people have looked at stuff, had some discussion. If anybody has any questions or discussion that they would like to do, since we now have 2 more weeks before we will actually bring it up for a vote.
Any other comments for budget?
I'm just curious. In all the budget meetings, we just talked about the police department's budget as far as specific raises. And then this current, that one that was handed out last week has, every department's getting some kind of raise. I'm just curious because we didn't discuss that in any of the budget meetings. And then all of a sudden now it's in there.
But you don't think we should give anybody raises?
I would love to give everybody a raise, but I don't know that, we talked about it, that how sustainable that is.
Well, I think it was, weren't there raises they were on the spreadsheet?
They did not get the spreadsheet.
You didn't get the
Oh, you get spreadsheet?
I got the spreadsheet.
And I apologize because I thought that went to all the members of the committee. And we had talks about whether that was going to be sustainable and everything. And then when we got the budget and realized the committee didn't all get that until this week. And then I realized I didn't check the distribution list. So nobody had a chance to weigh in on any of that. And the contact I've had, it's been concerning and confusing because we set the budget for the department thinking we were done, then go back and plug them in later. So when everybody got it the other day and did the quick review, they were double checking the PD numbers because I said the salaries are it, not realizing that people did not get that. And so that's what has opened up a lot of discussion because of the sustainability of that.
I'd like to speak on that a little bit. So I am definitely for giving raises. Everybody should get a cost of living raise. I think that we should cap that at 3%, 5% we had discussed. But I think giving a blanket raise across the city is extremely irresponsible. There should be some sort of merit system, reviews, evaluations that we're giving these raises. Giving somebody who does an excellent job every single day the same raise as somebody that maybe calls in all the time and is not doing a great job, that sends the total wrong message. I think we should be paying the top people in the city. They should be getting the raises. And I had one more point to make. And the optics of it, I just think are very terrible. So, we're scraping by to try to give the police a raise, and then now all of a sudden we can give everybody a raise. That seems like completely counterintuitive to me. So again, I am definitely for giving raises, but I think it needs to be, some sort of system evaluation. Maybe we can set a range. Like we're going to give this percentage of raise for the top people, this percentage of raise for everybody else. And that's my opinion.
I don't have the exact numbers, but we talked about basically it's somewhere between 10, depending on what your pay is right now. We're looking at 10% to 14% or something. I don't know when the last time I got a 10 to 14% raise, just as a blanket raise for hey, you still work here, thank you. And I'm not saying that people don't deserve raises, but I'm also, cost of living raises are somewhere between 3 and 5%, not 10% or 14%. So that was kind of my concern.
Is there a 10% raise in there?
Yeah,
Great.
yeah. There's more than 10% raises in there for everybody. Because
Well, it depends on-
it's $4,000 a year, at least, per person. So, if we're going to do that, but like I said, I thought people had seen that spreadsheet. And so then that's why I made a move real quick when people start questioning to be like it was on the spreadsheet. Well, they didn't see that. And if you make $23 an hour, you're getting a 10%. Well, nobody's making that. So everybody's making over a 10% increase. Like I say, we're looking at 12 to 14%.
Why? We've never done that before in the past.
No, we haven't.
We've always given like 3%.
Yes. That's why when you said you don't think people should get raised, yes, we all do. And but we can't raise the price of widgets. We're stuck with what we have. If we don't get another revenue stream, then this is not going to be sustainable. Right now we're having to cut back what we put back in reserves.
Okay, who put the 10% raises in?
Those were based off of the numbers that I gave the committee on the ranges from the MML salary survey for all positions, not just PD.
Well, but
We never
just
discussed
because,
raising anybody but the PD. In any budget meeting. I missed one, so maybe it happened in the one that I missed.
and we have the MML salary ranges, but that doesn't mean like Carthage, their administrative assistant and one other position that's basically their salary range starts at $16 and goes to like 20 top for their top administrative assistant. So, I know there's a big range there, but we can put, like I say, we can do it this year. We're balanced. Everything that's been presented is balanced, but that's not putting as much in
I think you better have
reserves.
another meeting and talk about this.
Well, that's my suggestion because I don't know what, I assumed you were aware of this.
Mm-mm.
Then I think we probably do need to have, before we vote on the budget.
Well, I think you're right. I think you need to have another budget meeting.
So we could have one later this week and next week, and that would still give us time because we have to vote on the budget the first meeting in April.
Later this week would be better for me since the week after is Holy Week. and it's kind of
Is-
a busy week.
Is there a certain day, Rick? Or-
Tomorrow, well, we have to post this week.
Yeah, we'd have to.
24 hours.
So we could, Thursday or Friday, though, we could do it, or
So, yeah, Thursday or Friday.
Bob and Holly, would you be available for either day, or?
Probably Friday for me. But I can probably.
If, Holly, if we did Friday at like 4, could you be there and still get,
Yeah, I'll be here just like a few minutes after.
maybe like 4:10?
Yeah, I can do that.
If you guys are good, we can schedule for Friday at 4:10 and try to wrap up, so I know.
Is there any possible way to not do it that late Friday? I cannot, I have to be in Branson Friday.
State.
What about Thursday?
Thursday.
Thursday. Bob, can you do Thursday if we do it at 4:10?
Yeah.
Okay, Thursday work better?
Yeah.
Okay,
And I do want to say, that I'm not against raises I want to raise, but I don't get 10, 15% raises. Cost of living is absolutely, I think everybody needs it. Everything is going up, but we just can't afford whatever it is. I don't want to spit out exact percentages, but to blanket raise the entire city, especially like what Holly was saying, and we've been scraping and trying to figure out how we're going to give raises to the police department. It just doesn't look good, even if we can't afford it this year. I don't see it, like you said, sustaining over a long haul, unless certain things happen. Use tax possibly passes. If we get more businesses, Chick-fil-A pops up on the corner down there. I don't know.
It seems to me like the issue is that the budget committee presents a budget that they say, they recommend, and the budget committee is not currently recommending the budget as it is.
right.
And so. I think
Right now,
that's-
we can't, yeah.
Yeah, so I can't vote on a budget that the budget committee themselves didn't approve.
Yeah, I think we need to look at, like, say, I'd like to be able to give everybody, but there's no sense if we can't give those kind of raises and sustain that budget, so people get a big raise, and then in a couple of years, we're having to cut jobs. That's kind of counterproductive for people to do, so I think we need to see what we can realistically do. So 4:10 this coming Thursday. And then if anybody else is available to sit in, that might not be.
I will be out of town.
That is all I had.
Anything else for budget?
Please no.
Moving right along. Code and nuisance, Rick.
Nothing at this time, sir.
Human resources, Roger.
Nothing.
Public facilities, Mike.
Just that I'd like to get a public facilities meeting scheduled soon, discuss some of the things that we talked about tonight. And then add one more thing to that. I saw in the Public Works reports that they delivered some lumber to Frank Dean. And I don't know what that's about, but I just want to talk, so add one more thing to the list of things to talk about the public facilities. Is Frank Dean ready for the season? Just if there's anything that we need to do,
They,
now's the time to.
that's what the lumber was for. They were rebuilding benches and.
I figured something like that,
that.
but I'd like
And
to.
then I got, they ordered dirt also,
Perfect.
so they're getting.
We'll just add that to the list anyway of things, just to make sure that it's ready for the season. But public facilities meeting after 3:00 in the afternoon, pretty
Might as
much.
well put Memorial Park on there too, see if we need to do anything there.
Put it on there. We have the lighting at Memorial Park on there.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, you do that.
Is there a day that works better for anybody else? I think
Is Holly?
let's do maybe not this week.
Public
but
facilities,
next week.
Burns, Levine, Allen, and Pyle.
Is there a day that works?
Any day pretty much, we'll just have to get rid of it.
Next week, I'm okay, except for Tuesday. I can't do Tuesday. Do Monday, Wednesday, or Thursday.
Probably Monday, Wednesday, or Thursday. Do one of those days work for you?
Yeah, probably Monday or Wednesday would be best for me.
Let's do it Monday. What time can you be available?
4 possible.
Okay. Monday at 4?
Yes, sir.
Monday at 4 for public facilities meeting.
Anything else for public facilities?
It's Monday the 25th, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Economic development, Holly.
No, nothing at this time really. I'm gonna finalize the details for their visit and I'll let everybody know on that. Hopefully tomorrow.
Okay.
Thank you.
Moving right along, unfinished business. David?
Nothing.
Bill?
No, sir.
Mike?
No, I have nothing.
Donna? The only thing I have, we talked about solar here a couple of meetings ago. And we had the guy that installed the solar panels come in last Thursday and talk to him, just so that we know the wastewater treatment plant is designed for 20% to provide power. Public Works is 48, Police Department's 25, and City Hall is 18. He was talking about, maybe you can remember how he said it, there's a cap on how much solar you can have. The Public Service Commission has that. You can't have 100% solar to run your facility because they're worried about putting electric companies out of business.
Didn't need to.
So, and if you have 100% solar, it would be really bad at night.
So what that means is that the largest solar array that you can have is like the one that we have for the wastewater treatment.
Yes,
And that's a 100 kilowatt system.
that's the maximum we're allowed to have.
So
like
that's
the
the
18
only one that is. All of the other three are under that.
So that 18% for the city building, that's how much solar we're producing?
That's what it's designed for.
It is designed
You
to
lose a
replace.
0.5% loss every year. So that's gonna be,
Oh, geez.
that's gonna be 4% of 18%, whatever that is.
Okay, so that's what it should do. Do we know what it actually does?
We're working on that.
We're working on that.
It's really tough to see.
Yeah, I didn't realize when we put those in all those years ago that it capped out at how much power
I
you
didn't
can
either.
generate.
I knew.
Takes you a little longer to recoup your money then, doesn't it?
Yeah, and we're still working on, there's 45 panels that really should be replaced. And I looked at a payback if we could figure out if we're really getting that. It's a $10,000 basically, and it'd take us 6.7 years to pay back the cost for those panels if they get good efficiency the entire time through there. And there is a possibility, however, through an IRS grant, we get 40% that Steve was looking at, but it's like 150 forms you got to fill out to do stuff to try and get that, and they pay you back for whatever it is. So we'll be looking at that too before we decide to do anything. But I don't know. We still have to figure out. We've been talking about putting our own meters in to check and see how much the solar panels are producing versus a meter before the umpire gets to their meter to see how much they're really producing, to see how much really we're getting out of them. Because I'm still confused. And the guy was here talking to me. I can't figure it out. It's not an easy thing. And I think they do that on purpose. But that's just my opinion. And that's all I have. Unfinished
Nothing.
business.
Nothing.
Rick?
No, sir.
Bob?
Nothing.
Holly?
No.
Mr. Talley? Lena? Steve?
No.
Harvey?
No, sir.
Mark?
Nope.
New business. Holly?
No. that's-
Bob?
Nothing.
Rick?
No, sir.
Roger? I have no new business. Donna?
That's,
Mike?
Is the work at the splash pad, the shade structures, is that what
Yep.
they're working on?
that's what's going in.
That's all I have.
No, sir.
Bill? David? Mr. Talley? Lena?
No.
Steve?
No.
Harvey?
No, sir.
Mark? Nope. Is there any other business before the council?
Move we adjourn.
Motion by Don Allen, second by Rick Flynn, that we adjourn. All those in favor, please signify by raising your hand. Eight in the affirmative, we are adjourned. Thank you all for coming tonight. We like having people in the audience.
Mark, was that thing working Thursday when you and Steve went over?